Hello, everyone. It's your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with
Mm-hmm.
Ryan. He's awake now. And today, we're going to be just doing a phone call. This is episode number 8 of the Two Guys Talking podcast. So I'm going to start off strong with the topics. Ryan, have you seen the Trump, parody comic books that are out, like superhero comic books?
No.
So there's one that's done by Antarctic Press, and then there's another one that's done by a different publisher. But the one that I'm really interested in, that I might actually try and read, is called Trump's Titans. So if I can scroll to it on my screen. Yeah. So Trump's Titans is a parody of like Donald Trump, but it's also a parody of DC Comics with their like metal events. So it's like Trump facing off against like dark multiverse versions of himself, and they're making fun of like how contrived these crazy like DC continuity events are, while also making fun of like the presidency. What are your thoughts on that, like as a premise?
In what way are they making fun of the presidency?
So
Do you mean they're making fun of the president or the office? I'd be surprised if they're making fun of the office.
making fun of the president, as far as I'm aware. I still haven't read one of these issues, but they're available on Comixology. So I'm thinking about picking one or two up and just seeing if it's good. I watched a YouTube video by this guy called Old Man Comics, and I can't tell if he's actually an old man or not, or if his whole thing is that he pretends to be an old man. You never see him; you just see his hands, and his hands are pretty wrinkly. But he could just be a young person with wrinkly hands. But throughout the whole video, he's like, "It's hilarious. I've never read a comic like this in so many years. This man back in the day used to be called funnies." Like he like says stuff like that, and I can't tell if it's like an act, like if the whole thing is like a persona, or if he's just an old ass guy who like reads comics. But I enjoyed the video nonetheless, and he seems to really like both Trump's Titans and the Tremendous Trump. The Tremendous Trump is like a like Incredible Hulk kind of parody with like Donald Trump. But Trump's Titans has like a full like superhero team, and it has this like weird story where Trump has like found this technology that's been hidden in the White House since the Reagan era, and now that he's like uncovered this tech, he's able to use it to do all this like superhero stuff. At least that's the pitch that I've like seen. I haven't read the comic. The comic itself might actually kind of vary from that a little bit. But I don't know. Like that just seems like a superhero book, and I'd be interested in checking that out more than Tremendous Trump. Tremendous Trump, from what I can tell, it has Hulk-inspired covers. I don't know if the inside of the book is actually like a parody superhero thing, or if it's just like the covers look like superhero stuff. But Trump's Titans just straight up is like a parody of superhero stuff. So yeah, I was curious if you had any like thoughts on that, or if you wanted to potentially check that out. Maybe we could do like a comic book club thing where we both read it and then we like share our thoughts on it. I'm holding a fake microphone, by the way. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that idea, Ryan?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, I see. You were also doing it. I didn't know what was going on. Oh, you're passing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, if we do decide to do that, I think that could be interesting. Definitely let us know in the comment section below if you guys want us to do something like that. Speaking of the comments, I asked during a spell break video, I think, for you guys to give us topics in the comment section, and I think we got a few replies. So I'm gonna try and pull up the comments now, see what topics you guys wanted us to discuss on Two Guys Talking. Ryan, are you excited to check out these viewer comments?
Yeah, sure. Let's see what people care about.
Do 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 ba da ba ba dun 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 dun. I know one of the comments is, why is YouTube recommending me random channels? Fair question.
YouTube always does that. Like, what do you mean by random?
He didn't really elaborate any further.
Like, if you do on like the sidebar and you just scroll down like on like desktop all the way down, it'll just be like random foreign language channels. Cause all the algorithms have to be at the top, and they'll just be like, you still looking for something? I don't know what you want. You want something in Spanish? Here, something in Spanish. You want some live stream of some like I don't know, like soccer game? Here's a soccer game. I don't know what you want. Stuff like that, you know?
Let's see. So someone asked, have you saw the DC Universe event on DC Universe Online? Um, last time I checked DC Universe Online, they were doing like a Wonder Woman based event. Also, Ryan, do you have like a cat?
No?
No?
Why?
It
You see a cat?
looks it looks like you're petting something like off screen.
No, maybe I am.
Is it like your foot, Ryan?
No.
No.
My foot's over here. So,
Okay, so it's not your foot. It's still a mystery. Okay, anyways, last time I checked DC Universe Online, they were doing a like Wonder Woman based event where it was like the multiverse has kind of like collided and you're able to explore
yeah,
all these different.
I'm scrolling down on the recommendations. It's just a bunch of live streams. Like a bunch of like Donald Trump supporting stuff. Like Donald Trump is the greatest president ever live stream from Unite America. I think it's just like a political ad looking live stream. Yeah, you just scroll all the way down. It's just like Trump propaganda at the bottom.
Let's see. Maybe those are the random videos that he's talking about. He's like, why am I getting Trump propaganda?
I mean, it's all the way. You have to actually like scroll so far. You actually have to be like looking for it to actually see it. Yeah.
So apparently, DCUO has announced their next
Oh wait, if
episode.
you autoplay at the sidebar, you might actually get there.
So DCUO has announced that their next episode is going to be called "Long Live the Legion." So they're going to do a Legion of Superheroes thing. Maybe that's what he's talking about. That's cool. Because the last time I checked, it was a like Wonder Woman event. Yeah, it was called Wonderverse. They were using like the Spider-Verse style terminology and story, where there was like a council of Wonder Women from throughout the multiverse getting together to face off against a threat. But that looks like that's old news. So the Wonderverse stuff was back in like July. Since then, they had a Flashpoint time capsule thing. They had a witching hour thing, but those aren't events. Those are more like costumes that they introduced. They had this thing called Fall Fest, where you could get a vampire pat as a pet, and you're able to get like different like Halloween-based things. But this Legion of Superheroes event thing is probably what he wanted us to check out. Ryan, do you have any interest in like the Legion of Superheroes?
Maybe.
Ooh, tell me more. Like, what about the Legion of Superheroes do you think you might be interested in?
They're in the future.
They are indeed. Um, they have a ongoing book written by Brian Michael Bendis, which I haven't really liked so far. Brian Michael Bendis is very talky, a lot of characters just doing dialogue dumps. But I am interested in learning more about the Gold Lantern that he introduced. Because normally in the future of the Legion of Superheroes, they don't have Green Lanterns. Like stuff like that is somehow like gone or it's disappeared over like the 100 years. Well,
It's like 900
hundreds of years. Yeah, since it's weird. I guess since the modern day, relative to Earth Zero, because we know that time's different on different Earths. So it's really weird. Anyways. In like the 31st century, normally the Green Lantern Corps and all the Lantern Corps aren't around. So I'm curious if the Gold Lantern Corps is going to be like the only Lantern Corps of the future, or if it's like the Green Lanterns disappeared, but then there are all these new Lantern Corps that we didn't have before, like the Gold Lanterns maybe like one of many, or maybe all the Lantern Corps like teamed up.
Or maybe it's just the Green Lantern Corps, but they changed colors.
And that's the only difference. I mean, well,
That's probably the worst option.
it seems like the Gold Lanterns are based on like transmutation and like alchemy, because that's the only thing we've really seen them do with their rings is that they can like transmute matter or whatever. I think that's like an interesting premise. But I want to learn more about the Gold Lantern. He was introduced in this Bendis run, but that's really kind of the only element of the Bendis run that I really care about. The animated series, I recently watched through all of that. I still haven't read the tie-in comics, That was really good. I definitely recommend that. To anyone who currently has DC Universe, I would say try and watch that show before DC Universe gets rid of all their shows, like near the end of the year. But let's see. They have a little like preview blurb for this next Legion of Superheroes event that they're going to do in DC Universe Online. DC Universe Online's next episode features the future's bravest team, the Legion of Superheroes, in a time-traveling adventure into the 31st century. The new episode Long Live the Legion will launch in November 2020. In the future, the founding members of the Legion of Superheroes take inspiration from our present-day heroes to form a new team and face their 31st century threats. Chief among those threats is their oldest and timeless foe, Mordru. Having so far failed to defeat this stellar team, Mordru concocts a new plan. Use his Eldritch enhanced powers in the 31st century to destroy history's heroes. His logic: no past, no heroes, no inspiration, no Legion of Superheroes. In Long Live the Legion, Saturn-Girl, Cosmic Boy, and Lightning Lad uncover Mordru's plot amidst exploding chaos in the 31st century metropolis, and then have a clever thought. Who better to help protect their past and future metropolis than the 21st history's heroes themselves? Players must travel forward in time with the Teen Titans, the Legion's most direct inspiration, to set things right before they and their legacy disappear. Interesting. So the event is not just like a Legion of Superheroes event, but it's also like a Teen Titans event. I'm curious which Teen Titans, to be honest, because they could go with like the new Teen Titans, which is the group that everybody's kind of familiar with, like Robin, Starfire, Cyborg, Beast Boy, Raven. They could go with like the old school Teen Titans, which I highly doubt, which would be like Speedy and like Aqualad and stuff like that. They could go for the team that in the comics is referred to as like the Titans, which is like Wonder Girl and Dick Grayson as Nightwing, and Aqualad as Tempest. Essentially like the older members, but they all are like in their new full hero monikers. But they could also go with like the current Teen Titans in the comics. So like Damian Wayne Robin and the Genie and Crush and like a less familiar Titans team. I imagine you'll probably be teaming up with the new Teen Titans. The new Teen Titans not being the modern one, but just the name for the one that everyone's familiar with. But I don't know. I think it's weird that they say that the Teen Titans are the Legion of Superheroes' most direct inspiration. Because I just think that's not true. From what I can tell, the Legion of Superheroes are always like, Superman! Like, oh, if it wasn't for Superman, we wouldn't be doing any of this. And all their naming conventions are very similar to Superman's naming convention, where it's like something about your powers and then like a noun that describes what gender you are. Like Saturn Girl, or Lightning Lad, or Cosmic Boy. Like they all are kind of like taking these inspirations, I've always felt, directly from Superman. Just because they're young, like they're like a teenage team, I don't think that really means that they take inspiration from the Teen Titans. Plus, there are just other younger teams that come after the Teen Titans, like Young Justice. Like, why wouldn't they be taking more inspiration, if they were taking it from a younger team, from just like the more modern example of the younger superhero team? Is that like them saying, Teen Titans were cool, we didn't really care about Young Justice? Like, what is it? I don't get it. Though then again, technically, the tables have turned, I guess, because there used to be a time where we had Teen Titans as like the teen superhero book. And then later on, Young Justice became the new like Teen Titans, essentially. But now we live in a day where you have like Titans, which are like the original Teen Titans, but they're older. You have like Teen Titans, which is like the new Teen Titans team. And then you have like Young Justice. And Young Justice is weird in current continuity because they're like, we're the Young Justice team from before Flashpoint, but we're all young, but we remember the stuff from before Flashpoint. So we're like a seasoned teenage superhero team, but we do have some new members, and it's like a whole bunch of bullshit. So maybe the reason why they could argue that they take their inspiration from the Teen Titans is because the Teen Titans never really stopped being a team. Like we kept getting like new Teen Titans iterations. But if that's the case, then they better not make it the fucking like Titans team that are like the older original Teen Titans, because I doubt that's where the inspiration would come from. It would come from like the current generation of Teen Titans with like Damian and Jeannie in them. But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on that. What are your thoughts on this DC Universe Online event? Do you care? Are you like, I don't really play DC Universe Online, so I don't know why I would care? Would you be interested in like watching gameplay of it? What are your thoughts?
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know what DC Universe Online is?
Mhm.
So DC Universe Online is an MMORPG where you're able to create your own DC hero or villain, and then you're able to get like a villain or hero mentor, and then that mentor kind of like trains you. Some of your like a lot of your missions at the start of the game are going to be based on whoever your mentor is, and also your base of operations is going to be initially based on whoever your mentor is. You get to pick like your suit elements. You get to customize like the colors of everything. You get to pick like what powers you want. You get to name your character. At a certain point, you get your own like headquarters that you're able to customize with different things that you collect on your adventures. Similar to how like the Batcave is full of all of like Batman's like trophies and stuff that he's collected over time. You can kind of do a similar thing in DC Universe Online. You can get pets that like follow you around, and that can also like help you out with stuff. You can team up with friends in order to take on missions. You get to participate in these episodes where essentially the DC Universe Online story like continues to grow over time, and each episode adds more to the story. But you can also explore open world environments like Gotham City, Metropolis, Chinatown for some reason, because that's like Wonder Woman's thing. I don't know. It's supposed to be like because she's like the
Chinatown where?
I think it's Chinatown Metropolis. Like you're still in Metropolis, but I know it's weird. But anyways, um, you can also do PvP in DC Universe Online. So if you wanted to like fight against like other players and test your skills in superpower combat, you can do stuff like that. You can level up. You can get different types of gear. There's a lot of cool stuff in DC Universe Online. I used to stream it back in the day. I used to play it with Kirby and Kratos in them on the channel. Just like any game that I play, eventually I kind of like move on to other things, and it kind of falls on the wayside. Last time I played DC Universe Online, I made a Weapon Ultra. I made Weapon Ultra in DC Universe Online. I got really hype about it. And I might play some DC Universe Online with Weapon Ultra and do this whole Legion of Superheroes event. I think the coolest thing about DC Universe Online, Ryan, is the fact that it's in the DC multiverse somewhere. Like it's one of the Earths. And I feel like it's the most direct way for you to put like your impact on the DC multiverse by making your own hero and like having them like interact with all these different characters. Because you can also do stuff like in the overworld, talk to like Zatanna or Constantine. Like you can run into like some of your favorite characters and kind of like dialogue with them. So there's like a lot of cool stuff there, I think, for like a DC fan. If you really want to feel like a part of the DC multiverse, I feel like DC Universe Online is the way to go. Plus, you can play for free. It's available on like consoles and PC. But you can also, I'm not sure if you can still buy the disc anymore. That used to be a thing back when it first came out. You could get a disc for it to like download it onto like your PC. I think there were even discs for like the PlayStation 3 and stuff like that. But that's a few generations back. But anyways, what are your thoughts on like what DC Universe Online is?
Mm-hmm. Sounds boring.
Sounds boring. What do you think would make it more interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Let's see. Um. Oh, we were looking at fan comments on the YouTubes. So now we know about what the DC Universe event on DC Universe Online is. Excuse me. What's another comment? Ray King said, "What if it was three guys talking?" So that's not as much. I mean, I guess that could be a topic if we talked about it. Ryan, if our show was three guys talking, who do you think the third guy would be, Ryan?
Michelle?
Do you think Michelle would want to be on the podcast?
No.
Then why do you think she'd be the third guy then?
Because I think we could tell her, like, okay.
Wait, what? So you're like, I don't think she'd want to be on the podcast. And then you're like, but if we told her about the podcast that she'd be on the podcast, wouldn't that imply that she'd want to be on it?
No.
No? Then why would she be on it if she didn't want to be on it?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan's mind is an enigma. Let's see. So I'm going to see if I can find more comments, because those comments were on the last episode, which, by the way, I haven't promoted yet. Boo 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 doo. So I haven't like spread that anywhere. So everyone who's watching that, I guess they're getting those random recommendations or whatever. But hey, that's good. I'm glad that new people are checking out the content. One of the videos I did was called DC Universe Online is Canon. And this guy named CD said, woohoo! Now, hold on, Ryan, do you know who this guy CD is on YouTube?
No.
He's your boy C.A. Damapi, the creator of Weapon Ultra. He's finally seen the content, Ryan. I've been making all these Weapon Ultra videos, and the creator is finally like commenting on all the stuff. So I think that's pretty cool. So we have like a flood of like Weapon Ultra comments done by the creator on the YouTube channel. So I'm gonna scroll through those right now. So he said woohoo in regards to the DC Universe Online is canon video. Because in that video I said Weapon Ultra is technically canon to the DC Universe because he's in DCUO. So the creator got hype on that. He also put a comment on my Weapon Ultra versus Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman who would win video. And he said, Weapon Ultra is the universal avatar of space. He said, what I forgot to write in his bio is that when he was appointed as the protector of the universe by Callus, he had a boost to his already galactic level powers. That's kind of vague. I kind of wish that C.A. Damapi went into more detail about what that means. Like, does that mean that he thinks C.A. Damapi would be able to beat Superman? Like, is he trying to imply something with that? Because I think that'd be interesting. So I just scrolled down, and he has like another comment. This one is from 4 hours ago. He commented on how strong would Weapon Ultra be in the Marvel Universe, where I essentially like power scaled Weapon Ultra. And he said, damn, after watching this video, I gotta nerf Weapon Ultra a little bit. No, I don't want him to nerf Weapon Ultra. He already like changed Weapon Ultra like a good bit. Maybe all these videos have convinced him to change Weapon Ultra back to what he used to be. The greatest. But I don't know. I don't want him to nerf him. That would get me. C.A. Damapi said, funny enough, I posted the power grid about a week ago. What? Okay, so he's saying that he actually has made a power grid for Weapon Ultra on the Wikia. Originally, I like had to make my own power grid based on the description that he had. I made another video that was called Weapon Ultra versus the Lizard Marvel Comics, who would win 1v1 superhero battle. And C.A. Damapi said, the lizard gets incinerated in 1 second. He's like, that's not even like a fight. Let's see, next up, I made a video that was called This Comic Book, I said, the comic book characters that inspired Weapon Ultra, open source superhero. And C.A. Damapi actually went into detail about all the different characters that inspired Weapon Ultra's design. And based on what I'm reading, it seems like I was like pretty on the money about like my thoughts on Weapon Ultra and like what inspired him. So C.A. Damapi said power set and history were based on Quasar. His cowl and first name were based on Batman. The white line going down one eye is based on Backlash from Image Comics. So I did not pick up that reference at all in my video where I was talking about characters that inspire Weapon Ultra. He said the symbiote armor was inspired by Venom, and the superhero name was inspired by Weapon Ultra. I mean, sorry, was inspired by Wolverine, who's like Weapon X, and a word that signifies that it's beyond everyone and everything else, which is Ultra. I gotta start liking these comments. It's crazy that CA Damapi has finally like checked out the stuff, and he started reacting to everything. Because I do want to know, did he originally intend to make Weapon Ultra like stronger than like Superman? So I'm gonna just straight up ask him, is Weapon Ultra stronger than Superman? Real quick, Ryan, what are your thoughts on the fact that the creator of Weapon Ultra is now like checking out all these videos and commenting on them and like sharing his thoughts on how he designed the characters and everything?
It's neat.
It's neat. Okay. I'm gonna reply to him saying that he needs to nerf Weapon Ultra. I'm like, nah, no nerfs, no nerfs. He's good. He's good. I like it. No nerfs. He's good. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll through. Um, I'm gonna say, ooh, I need to check out that power grid. I'm sorry that I'm like nerding out, Ryan. I was very surprised. When I was checking the comments, I was expecting it to be more like topic recommendations, but I feel like him checking out everything is like a topic in its own right. Matter of fact, I might subscribe to your boy CA Damapi, especially if he makes videos about his universe. I would love to check that out. Ooh, he actually does videos about like the characters of the Marvel universe. And he does like top list about all these different. Oh man, I think it'd be interesting if CA Damapi and I like talked about like superheroes and stuff. He seems to be like really into the comics and everything. Let's see. CA Damapi said, I had to change the universal entity's name from Expanse to Callus, but other than that, everything is back to how it was before. Yes, yes. So Ryan, I didn't get the opportunity to make a video about how like Weapon Ultra got changed. Because remember, I made all those Weapon Ultra videos, and then CA Damapi like completely changed Weapon Ultra's like design and changed some of his backstory and everything. CA Damapi saw all the videos, he saw all the love, and he returned Weapon Ultra to his original state. Hey, that's what we're talking about. That's what I like to see. That's hot. What are your thoughts on that? On the idea that Weapon Ultra has been returned to his initial pimp status?
It's cool.
It's cool. Let's see. I tried to draw Weapon Ultra in one of my videos, and CA Damapi said, "Yo, that's dope." He said, "I, the creator of Weapon Ultra, unknowingly changed his look before seeing this video." He said, "I'm going to revert his costume back to the old one just because of the." That's cool. I really fuck with that. That's cooler than what I thought about before. Um, I'm gonna say like thank you so much. I'm really hyped. Yo. But yeah, I'm sorry, Ryan. I went on like a whole like geek out fest on that.
Why you apologize?
Because I need to get back to these topics. Because Godzilla actually posted a topic. Um, so Ryan, I'm going to see if you can answer this question that Godzilla asked us. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
He said, what is 99 plus 790, and what does it have to do with comic books?
99 plus 790.
99 plus 790. I saw it was a math-based question, and I was like, Ryan, take it away. Get this math.
So like 889, right?
When he's trying to like check his math with me. Yeah, I believe it's 889 because it would be 790 plus 10 plus 89. So that's 889.
And what is 889 comic books?
Right. Time to Google 889 comic. Let's see. So the first thing that comes up when you type in 889 comics is Action Comics Volume 1, number 889. And then if you go to that, the cover of the book says Apocalypse Rao, Rao being the name of the son of Krypton. And it's a Nightwing Flamebird story. Was this all like to connect back to the Nightwing Flamebird conversation that you and I had the other day, Ryan? Do you think that's like the answer to the riddle?
Is it a riddle? It's more like a one step question though. Just like, do you know about this thing?
Well, we don't even know if we know, like, if this is the right thing or not. I think it is because it seems to connect to something we've talked about before, but we could still be wrong. You know what I mean? This may not be the answer. What do you think the answer is, Ryan? Do you think we're on the right track?
Mm-hmm.
I also do not know. Let's see, but that was interesting. Feel free to send in your like random podcast riddles or whatever, or challenges, like these like weirder questions, because I dig this as well. Volt said a day ago, "Man's better be wearing pants." Ryan, Volt wants to know. Volt's been asking on like all these videos whether or not you are wearing pants. Are you wearing pants right now?
Yeah, I'm wearing pants right now.
Hey, that's Volt's. That's what Volt's wanted to know. He probably like clicked off the video right then. He's like, yeah, confirmation. That's all I needed. I imagine Volt then would leave a comment like, "Show pants or not real," and then he'd be like, "I'm skeptical." Who knows? Maybe he's
Did you
not.
not see the pants when I showed you my foot?
Maybe not. I don't remember if I saw like pants trim with the foot. So who knows? Someone who's watching this that's already like once it's already been uploaded fully can go back and see if there was any pants when the foot was shown. Also, the thing that you were playing with, is that like a blanket or something? The thing that I thought was like a cat or whatever?
It's a sheet.
A sheet. Okay. Let's see. So that one guy who asked, why is it that he's getting recommended like random YouTube videos or whatever? If he's referring to like why did he get recommended to check out like our podcast, I think I might have an answer. So part of my reasoning for being like we need to do the podcast now versus us like waiting to do the podcast later is because I've seen the analytics, Ryan, and for some reason the two guys talking video gets found like a good bit through like YouTube search. Like right now it's like the number 8 best performing video on the channel of the last month, and it's kind of held a place in the top 10 for a while. So I was like, why is that? Like, why is the fact that like that two guys talking video is doing so well and getting so many views every month and performing as well as it is? So I noticed that a lot of essentially like 60% of the people who find like the videos on the channel find it through like YouTube search. So then the next thing that you get curious about is like, okay, so if people are searching for the videos on YouTube, what are they searching to find these videos? 9 times out of 10, the answer is Battle Claw, because the Battle Claw videos are doing really well, which I don't know why. I don't know who's searching for Battle Claw, this dead-ass game that as far as I'm aware, like no one plays anymore. But you have Battle Claw getting searched a whole bunch, but then you have multiple search terms that have to do with two guys talking that are leading people to the two guys talking video. It's stuff like guys talking about sound effect, like guys talking sound effect is one of the most searched things. And we've gotten like 79 views in the last 28 days from people searching guys talking sound effect. I don't know why. It makes me think that people are finding the podcast and the videos of us talking, but they're not finding it to listen to a podcast. It's like they want the sound effect of people talking. Like it'd be interesting if we watched like a YouTube video later down the line or like a short film and like us talking about like different comic book shit was like background noise or something. Like if people are using it for sound samples. Or if people are trying to look up people talking as just like background for them to like go to sleep or something. There's another search term, boys talking sound effect. That's like another thing that people are looking up. And we got 31 views within the last 28 days from people searching that. And then there's man talking sound effect. Then we got 25 views from that. Two men talking. We got 25 views from that. There's something about the combination of us being like men and that there are like two of us talking where YouTube search is like, yeah, throw them some viewers. People are searching two people talking sound effect. That one's less gender specific. We got 13 views off of that. People talking sound effect. We got 12 views off of that. So people are looking for sound effects of people talking. And that's what's leading people to these videos. What are your thoughts on that? Like on that being like how we're getting the traffic for these videos?
I mean, I guess that makes sense. Where that one's popular.
Why do you think why do you think people are searching like these specific search terms?
It seems pretty unclear.
Agreed.
Unless you can like find some of the other videos that come up when that is searched and see what those are.
That is a good point. I'll look that up now, I guess, and just see what comes up. Do, 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 do. As a matter of fact, this would be a good way of testing our like SEO or whatever. Like when someone types in two guys talking, what does come up? Do, 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 do. Do you think we're going to be like anywhere near the top? Oh, we actually are. The first video has 51,000 views. It's by a guy called Killer Strike 53. And the video is just called Two Men Talking. The video is like 35 minutes long, and it was streamed 2 years ago. So that's the top result. We're not up there yet. Under that result is the video that you and I streamed 2 years ago and has 2.8 thousand views. And it's called Two Guys Talking. Then under that, there's an episode of Sasquatch Chronicles, episode 316. That's also from 2 years ago. It has 24,000 views. And the title of the episode is called Two Guys Talking. Under that, there's this video that's called Spoilers, Two Guys Talking About the Rise of Skywalker. And that has 743,000 views. It's interesting to see all these different things that are just called Two Guys Talking. There's one video that's just straight up called Two Guys Talking Mess. That has 9.7 thousand views. It's from 8 years ago. Oddly enough, this video called Two Guys Talking Mess, it looks like it was done in the dorm. You know how the dorm had those weird prison walls with the big ass like white cinder block brick walls or whatever? That's what's in their background too.
Background.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're also in a room.
Yes, I imagine they too are in a room. I'm surprised that there are so many videos that are just called Two Guys Talking, and all of them seem to have a lot of views, regardless of like the length. Like, do people just look up the words Two Guys Talking like quite often and just like post? I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't get the appeal of it. but it's interesting that there are all these videos. There's a channel that's called Two Guys Talking that has one subscriber and one video, and then another one that has like 11 subscribers. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, well, now I'm starting to see some that don't have as high a view count. There's another show called Two Guys Talking that has like one episode. Maybe it's just a popular name to call stuff like podcast because of the fact that it's just very straightforward what it is. That's kind of why our thing is called Two Guys Talking. Speaking of which, I found another Two Guys Talking video that has you and I in it, but we're like outside. We're like walking around or whatever. My hair looks really different. I have like the big beard, but the hair on the sides is shaved down. There's another one right under that that has Black David and I at Cookout. And Black David has a fry with like ketchup on it, and his tongue's out, and he's like licking the ketchup on the fry in the thumbnail. He went for something weird. Let's see. I don't know. I'm hyped to see if people like continue to vibe with the Two Guys Talking like podcast. I'm hyped to see if we get more fan interaction. And I'm also really excited that CA Damapi like checked out the Weapon Ultra content. That's cool. Speaking of creator content, so I recently released a comic called Rift and Tone. It's a superhero comic that's 8 pages, 16 panels, done in Microsoft Paint. The comic is available on Amazon for $1. Used to be $3. That's because I messed up the pricing before. Now it's the proper price of $1. But if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. So I highly recommend checking for free. So I highly recommend checking out Rift and Tone on Amazon. I'm also working on a new comic. I think it's called Sparkblade. It's something along those lines, but it's a medieval fantasy comic about a knight trying to rescue a princess from a dragon. So I tried to think of like the most basic like premise for like a fairy tale story, and I was like, how would I approach trying to tell that kind of story in comic form? And I might do another one using the same premise of like a knight saves a princess from a dragon. Because what I quickly realized is that you can take it in so many directions. It's a story that I feel like I've heard like 1,000 times. There are all these different like iterations of like a knight saving a princess from a dragon. There's a lot to take inspiration from. There's a lot that can be like changed and done differently. So I might just keep playing with this concept until I get bored with it and then move on to something else. One thing that I'm excited about for this new comic that I'm working on is it's action focused. It throws you right into the fight between the knight and the dragon. I will say that Rift and Tone, even though it's like a superhero book, it's like a superhero origin story. It's really 3 origin stories. It's the origin for Rift, the origin for Tone, and the origin for their villain, King X. But it's just origin stories. Like the actual fight that I like written a summary of isn't actually in the book. That book is just to get you familiar with all the characters. And if I make a Rift and Tone issue 2, it can just jump straight into the action. You already know who all the characters are. And I can just kind of go crazy with it and have fun with the book. I feel like with the Sparkblade comic that I'm working on, I like that it's like a one-shot. So I'm not planning on making like a whole series about like the same knight and the same dragon or the same princess or whatever. It's just one story. You don't know if the knight's going to live or if the knight's going to die or if the princess is going to be set free until you read it. But then you get the complete story all in one package for $1. I feel like stories that are this short, like these 8-page comics that are $1, I think they work better when they tell a complete story. So I think I'm going to navigate to doing more of these one-shots that are more action-packed in the future. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know that I'm not very good at drawing, and I know that Microsoft Paint isn't necessarily like the most pleasing thing to check out. But I've decided that instead of constantly making the excuse of, oh, well, I don't make comics because I don't know how to draw, I guess I feel like that doesn't really matter as much. There are plenty of people who have made comics that either have like simplistic art styles, or straight up just use Microsoft Paint, like Homestuck, that still have like found audiences and found their own success. You don't have to be the greatest artist in the world to tell a good story. I also really like what One does for One Punch Man. He has a very like simplistic art style, but I still really enjoy reading that version of One Punch Man. I've actually never read the like manga of One Punch Man. I've only read like the web comic of One Punch Man, but I really enjoy the web comic. I'm behind on it though. I need to try and catch up on it, similar to how I recently caught up on Boruto. Just find wherever I was and just binge till the end. Well, there isn't an end, is there? Isn't One Punch Man like ongoing still?
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm. How far are you in like One Punch Man? Like, are you caught?
I also haven't been keeping up on updates of One Punch
Up?
for months, so I don't know.
Do you read Mob Psycho? I haven't read any of Mob Psycho.
No, I haven't read Mom Psycho.
Okay. Haven't finished season two. I started season two and I was liking it. Uh, have you like watched all of season two of Mob Psycho?
Hmm.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. I've heard it's really good. Which I'm not surprised about because season one was pretty good. Um, I feel like I might have asked you this in the past, but what's your favorite like superhero manga or anime?
Hmm.
Um, I would say my favorite ongoing superhero anime is probably One Punch Man. But my favorite like finished superhero anime is kind of a toss up, I guess. When I was younger, I used to really push Samurai Flamenco. I like Samurai Flamenco is really good. If you haven't seen it, give it a chance. It has a big twist, and then once the twist hits, the show keeps escalating. It just keeps getting crazier. So I feel like if you want to see a superhero kind of have like a started from the bottom, now I'm here kind of like story, Samurai Flamenco is like a great example of that, turned up to 11. But I also not too long ago watched Doko Ida. I may be butchering that name. I really, really, really like Doko Ida. It's like a weird comedy, like Common Writer anime. Uh, what is that show where you have like a bunch of people who live in a house together? The Real World. It's like a parody of like the Real World, but it's also a parody of like Common Writer, and it's an anime.
Right, and Yu-Gi-Oh had a new archetype archive of Insectors.
I watched the archetype archive of Insector. A lot of people were hype in the comment section that archetype archive was back, and someone mentioned that it's been like, well, actually, I think the video mentioned how long it's been. It's been like 11 months since the last archetype archive. I didn't even realize it had been that long. People are talking about whether or not Insector is going to potentially get more support since they have the new thing where people will vote for like what's the next archetype to get more support.
Mhm.
Do you think they'll show Insector any love or no?
They're actually the final two archetypes.
Oh, we already know what the final two archetypes are?
Mhm.
Are both of them getting support, or is only one of them going to get support?
It's like some sort of weird. I'm not sure how it'll work, but it's like a fan or like the community created like card, like design a card. So far they've just been polling the community on what archetype to get it. So it's like a tournament brackets of like, which of these two archetypes would you rather prefer a card made for? But once they finish on either of the two archetypes, like the finalists, I'm not sure how it'll be. Like, what kind of like polls will they get for like the text or like what it does or something? Like I get, yeah, you can like, would you rather have like a monster card, a spell card, or a trap card? It's like sure that'd be simple, but like then beyond that, like how do you like question all these like What will the card? Because the cards can do anything, pretty much.
Yeah. Um, that's a good point. I am curious how far.
Two finalist archetypes are like Photon or like Galaxy Photon, so they're pretty much the same archetype, I guess. And Inzector.
Oh, so Inzector just is one of the two finals.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I feel like when they ask, do you want like a monster card, a spell card, or a trap card?
I mean, that's what they could do. I don't know what that'll be like how they'll try and like pull or get the design for this new card.
Because if
Now that they've essentially like once they have well, we know what archetype it'll be. Like then what? I don't know what the next step is.
that's fair. Do you think? Because I guess I'm curious, like in what
You
order,
can vote right now.
right?
Like I think if you go to like the top comment or something on the rank 10 video, like he has a comment and he like links the website where they're doing the poll.
Oh, when he said something about voting being important, I thought he was talking about like the election or something.
No, it's a link to the vote. You should go
Okay.
do that. I already did.
I'll vote. Uh, this is like the one thing I'll vote for this year is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Create a Card project. This is really easy. You just click on one of the two things.
And then you hit next.
hmm What
And
attribute
then you answer.
Dark Magician? Dark.
Yeah. So they used to not have those questions, and so they had like potential like spam bots or something. So now they have like it's like the really weak and lame uh anti-bot um procedure thing. So it asks you like a question about Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I feel like some people are gonna get that last question wrong about like how many copies of the left arm of the Forbidden One can you have in advance.
Why would it be? Why would they? It's always been the same answer. It's never not been that answer.
But I feel
Ever.
like not everyone knows that though.
Of the game, it's been limited,
Not everyone knows.
but not everyone knows. If you don't know, then you've never looked at a Forbidden Limited list ever.
Or when you looked at a Forbidden Limited list, you weren't paying attention to the left arm of the Forbidden One. Ryan's like, impossible. And that's the first
Like
thing
on the
I look
first
at every
list when the
time.
game came out, all 5 pieces of Exodia were limited to 1. That's been a status quo that's maintained forever
Ryan,
and will maintain forever.
Ryan's like,
It'll never not be limited to 1.
it is a sin to not know this knowledge. And
Mm-hmm.
Konami agrees. They're like, only heartless machines are unaware of the truth. If those questions don't change, you could easily make a bot that just fucking.
I mean, yeah, you can easily make a bot, but they were like, oh, some shit and call it a day. I guess some anti-bot measure.
Maybe the answer choices get
Because it was
around at least.
the whole thing.
How do they keep people from like multi-voting? Like if you were to on your computer and then you go, "Hey Michelle, can I like see your computer?" Could you then like vote on hers? Like is it like
Probably.
vote her like MAC address or whatever? Or is it like because I have multiple laptops. If I was like, well, this machine's different from like this machine, which is different from this machine, could you just flood as many votes as machines you have to vote?
Probably can.
I feel like it is hard to try and regulate that kind of thing. So I think you're right. You probably can do that. Should you do that? Probably not.
Yeah, if you want
I mean,
Photon to win.
whoa, Photon. I'm sorry. Who did you vote for?
Voted for photons.
Oh no, Ryan.
What?
I'm a big Common Rider shill. I
Oh,
got
no.
this Insector.
Have you ever tried like wanting to play an Insector deck?
I've thought about it before because I watched those dual logs like top 10 videos or whatever, and he did one video where he talked about like Insector Hornet and how Hornet used to be like really good.
Yeah, I remember that. Back in the day, 2012, flashbacks to Hornet. It was like essentially same story, but like I joined Dueling Network um right in like March, April. So it was like right before the list. So I was like getting hit with all this like full powered Insector shit. And Hornet was just destroying my whole field. I was like, oh my god, what is this? Because I was still like that was like when I was like returning to the game, like and even like seeing like what was meta and stuff. It was like that, and I'm like ah ah.
Now, did you watch that like comedy skit that was at the end of the Archetype Archive thing?
Yeah, Ojama Line.
Yeah, I actually laughed multiple times during his like skit thing. I loved it when he was like, "Are there any Rush duelists out in the audience?"
All right, I knew I was like, if only Jet was here.
Let's see. So right now I'm gonna actually promote episode 7, like yesterday's video where you fell asleep. I just haven't posted about it anywhere at all. So it only has like 15 views. But I've been doing that recently where I wait to promote it so I can just see how like YouTube handles getting it out to people and then like put it in everybody's face. So my promotion is always like a day behind when the video itself actually comes out. So like this video will likely be up tonight, but I won't tell anybody about it until tomorrow. So the fans who are like on the notification squad, let us know in the comment section below that you saw this way before I put it on Discord or Facebook or in the channel community tab or whatever. Show that you're like on it. We appreciate it. Don't we, Ryan?
Mm.
Ryan looks to the side for the fucks he gives. He sees nothing. Let's see. So I'm going to start by posting about episode 7 on Discord.
I'm currently reading the most recent chapter of Accept My Fist of Love.
Oh, have you watched Zeros? It's like Hxeros. It's essentially like a superhero anime slash manga that's about alien bug monsters who come to Earth to steal people's Zeros energy, which is like your horniness. And if they take away everyone's Zeros energy, then the human race will have no means of like continuing to grow the population because no one will want to have sex. So it like will wipe out everybody. So they have like a team of superheroes who are essentially just really horny teenagers who can weaponize their horniness into like their.
I think I've heard of this from like a Gigug video, but no, I haven't watched that.
Yeah, I think Giguk is where I heard about it before. Because I think at the time I went to GoGo Anime to check it out, and I think they didn't have the dub. So then I decided to read like the first chapter of the manga. And the first chapter of the manga kind of turned me off because there wasn't a lot of action within the first chapter. I went on GoGo Anime today, and they had the dub up. And I was like, oh, well, fuck. If they have the dub, then I can just like watch it and I can work on my comic while it like plays in the background. And that was cool. I enjoyed it. I haven't finished it. I've only seen the first couple of episodes. That's mainly because my back was hurting earlier today. So then I decided to like go to sleep or whatever. And then I woke up and I was like, I only have like a little bit of time before the podcast starts. So then I started working on the comic and watching the anime. But if I had started earlier today, I probably would have watched more. Let's see, episode 7 of the, should it be capitalized? Of the Two Guys Talking podcast is out. Do you ever watch the podcast episodes, excuse me, after we like upload them?
No.
Neither do I. I was just curious if you did. I do check the comments though, because I want to know people's thoughts on the podcast. It's a way of the show being interactive without being like a stream. By the way, Ryan, are you okay with in like the next like 3 minutes or so me ending the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ballin'. Do you have any topics that you would like to quickly cover before we end the podcast?
Yeah, you guys should all go read Accept My Love or Accept My Fist of Love.
Oh, Ryan, did you freeze? Well, okay, you're back. You're back. You said accept my fist of love.
The manga.
Is
Read
it an
it.
anime or is it just a manga?
Mm. The manga's only had like 14 chapters.
I remember
And
when
the
the
update list is from 2018.
now I remember
The top comment on the anime on the manga website says, "This series really butters my egg roll."
do people put like butter on egg rolls like after they get it like from like a restaurant? Does anyone like go back and like butter it?
I probably would.
I've never tried that before. Do you think it'd be good?
Hmm.
I may have to try that at some point. Do you think we'll ever do a Two Guys Talking podcast episode like at a restaurant, like post COVID? Like at like 88 buffet or something? Like do you think we'll ever do it? Oh,
Yeah.
you said yeah. So we have like 1 minute left. So it's time to do some outro shit. Yo, thank you all for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding, ding, ding. Ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these videos. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with
Mm-hmm.
Ryan. Logging out. Peace, guys. Chicka da gal. Do 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 do